job description doesn't match what we're doing. Let me show you that. In the job description, it says 40% travel. Yeah, right.
Your chase fires on it now.
And of course, in the state, we used to be part of UPS. So they follow the same model. You know, you're a state employee, you're assigned to the county, you're whatever. So, with secondary county, they're saving. But anytime something happens, you'll just put wherever. So, I went from being the other counties to covering 264 counties. You know,
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
I did a little bit more than
Yeah.
and of course, they're coming out of medic, so don't get programs like we do anywhere.
Otherwise, it's the same. You know, we're usually sitting down here. How are you, sir? Sit down. Good morning.
He used to sit right up there. When I first started this job 3 years ago, he used to sit right up
All right, I call this meeting of the Young County Commissioners Court to order. Let the record show it is 9:30 a.m. All five members of the court are present. We are streaming live on our YouTube channel. The phone number is 940-221-2107 if you'd like to call in and make a comment. If you're able, please stand for our invocation and pledge. We thank you for the opportunity to serve the people of Young County. Grant us wisdom to make sound decisions, integrity to do what is right, and humility to listen with open minds and respectful hearts. Help us to work together for the good of our community, to be faithful stewards of the public trust, and to always seek justice, compassion, and peace. Bless the citizens of Young County, those who protect and serve our community, and all who are in need today. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
All right, we'll move to announcements and presentations. We received the hot tax report for $11,881.86 for June 2026 from the Wildcatter Ranch. $2,130.09 for April through June, and that was from La Casa Tierra. And we're going to have a presentation for Young County 4-H and the Texas 4-H Ambassador, Maddie Hearn. Where are you, Maddie? Are you here?
Most of the agents are out of town right now.
Okay, well then we will skip that presentation. We've moved to public comments. Tom, you wanted to talk about the budget. You want to do it now?
At the end on 19.
Okay. And we'll wait for that. That's the only other person who signed up for public comments. So we'll move to item number 5, discuss and consider the results of the fiscal year
Pardon me,
2025
Judge.
audit.
I filled out a form and so did Andy.
Where is it?
I don't know, left it up there.
All right, you got to bring them in. You got to turn them in.
I thought that was your job.
My job is to receive them.
Okay.
All right, Phil, go ahead. The floor is yours.
So, I've had a question about the longevity of a data center if it's being built. And so, I put that question in AI today to ask what the likelihood was. And so, their first comment was, yes, a slowdown or even a temporary bubble in data center construction is a real possibility. The key question isn't whether there will be one or periods of oversupply, but how severe that become. So what could trigger a bubble? This thing's telling me everything, but some warning signs would include vacancy rate beginning to rise, rental prices for data center space falling, and hyperscalers canceling or delaying leases. So the odds of a bubble, according to this thing, continued strong demand and moderate growth, about 50 to 60% in the first 3 to 7 years. A moderate oversupply leading to lower valuations, 10 to 30%, decline in some markets. So there's other technologies that's out there we already know is coming online or about to be developed. This thing told me that Microsoft has a deal, an underwater data center called Project NAPTIC. The results were encouraging. It's cooler seawater and reduced cooling capacities and doesn't use any land. The modules could potentially be deployed near coastal cities. So it also said several companies have proposed data centers in orbit powered by solar energy. Airborne data centers are being discussed where they would have their supply by the solar. So I want to go back to a question that I asked you back, I believe it was in the fall, and tell me if the answer was wrong. And I'd like for you to answer this, and I know you're not supposed to during this, but you can email it. I'd rather you answer it right now if you don't mind. So I asked about what if this company goes out of business or for any reason decides to cancel, and if we gave a 10-year tax abatement at the tail end, that's probably when this stuff is going to be obsolete or out of date. So you said, I said, what are we going to do with 300,000 square foot buildings and there's 15 of them or 17 or whatever the number is? So what do we do with those if they abandon those and go out of business? And I think you told me that the state covers a bond to do that. You do.
No, they post a bond. They purchase a bond.
The company, Headwaters.
I'm assuming that's yes. I'm pretty sure. I know that's how it works with the solar farms, but.
Okay, so then what we have to do then is trust, because I brought up the fact.
But that would be on their land, though. So it would be on their land.
But it's still gonna be an eyesore out there, and it'll have stuff that might leak into soil and everything else. So how do we know for sure that they're gonna, and how do we know that they're not gonna create their own company and say, okay, we're gonna develop a bond, and they can show you a bond? But I think we need to research that before you give any tax abatements, and that's all I need to say.
Okay, thank you. Andy?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna, but I'll see if I can help answer some of those questions real quick.
Thanks.
So, to address y'all with answer this question, my first data center was almost 17 years ago or so, almost 20 years ago. Had a stroke, so the numbers are a little fuzzy unless I'm looking at it, but it was Bank of America. And now, I was at it 2 years ago, and it's now a hyperscaler for NVIDIA and for Dell. And not the direct clients, obviously, but that's what the equipment they have in there. Still going strong, even bigger than ever. The way these data centers work is, especially on hyperscalers, yes, the equipment goes out of date, but it gets recycled, meaning that a model that was for one purpose now gets degraded to another purpose, and then eventually will get sold off, and then they'll replace the equipment. As far as the bubble that everybody fears, here's the thing. I do agree that there's going to be a slowdown in building at some point. The thing is, I personally, and you can Google it, there's not been very many data centers ever that have gone out of business. They've been repurposed, they've been changed over to another company, but data centers as a whole, they keep going because even if the technology shrinks, the need is more. So therefore, they put stronger technology and maybe in it, and it takes less buildings eventually, hopefully, right, to continue that growth. The other thing I want to point out, if your AI model is not trained, which I highly doubt yours is, Mr. Denny, not because it takes time, years of training one to get it right. So if your AI model is not trained, it will naturally pick, there's an algorithm that senses how you want things answered. And yes, it will answer within facts to some degree, to most degree actually, but it will be tailored to give you the answer you want to hear. So when it talks about some of that, I would highly encourage you to spend it. If you want to use AI, then you spend the time to train it. That way it gives you accurate answers and not just answers that it sees you trending toward. Because it takes the search, it takes all that, and it trends it. So when you talk about a bubble and stuff, I can guarantee the answer I get will be a different answer than you get, not because it's wrong, either side's wrong, because it's skewing it to a point of view. And so I just want to say that as far as the bubble, yes, there likely will at some point be a slowdown. I mean, but the need will still increase. The technology is just smaller. So the buildings that are already built will still be in use in almost every scenario. So,
All right. Move to item number 5. Discuss and consider the results of the fiscal year 2025 audit. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mike Edgen with the firm of Edgen, Parkman, Fleming, and Fleming. Mike, how are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Great. Come on up.
Can you take it?
You may. You may.
We have the completed annual audit as of September 30th, 2025. And I'm going to go over the annual audit report first, and I have a couple other letters after that. As I go through it, I'm going to hit some highlights. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to stop and ask away. I'll do my best. Pages 1 through 3 is our independent auditor's report. We have the same opinion as we had last year. We have unmodified opinions on a certain set of financial statements that are qualified on the other. The reason for the qualification is the judicial receivables are not recorded. The plan is we're going to try to get that done by 27.
Because we did all those. We went through that process. And
The key right now is we have to have 2 years of data to get those recorded. The problem is we have to run those reports. They're very date sensitive. They have to be ran on September 30th. If you run them 2 or 3 months later, the data is bad. So you have to, we made notes. I've got to mark an email to send to the county, remind all those reports, all of them have to be run on those dates.
I know all the courts got together. We
exactly.
looked through the data. We wrote off what we were supposed to.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that part is good, and also using the third-party agencies, that was our main concern, is to collect the money we're supposed to get. That's the key. So that part is being done, they're being cleaned up. We just gotta get the correct data so we can start implementing those. So that's gonna come. After that, we have on page 4 through 12, management's discussion analysis. Though this is a management document, we do help draft it. We get the information from the county, we collaborate that with what we find there in the audit, but it does go over fluctuations you don't see just looking at raw numbers in the financial statements, which is a good thing. Pages 13 and 14, the first set of financial statements, these are referred to as government-wide set. We take all the funds of the county, consolidate it down into governmental activities. They're on a long-term basis, so we have all the current capital assets, accumulated depreciation, we have pension and OPEB, assets, liabilities reported, all long-term debt as well. On the statement of deposition on 13, we have total assets of almost 41 million, liabilities about 3.5. So your net position, the difference between assets, liabilities, deferred inflows and outflows, was $37,448,000. Part of that being invested in capital assets, and then some restricted, and then the unrestricted portion. How that changed between 2 years is on page 14. It's a statement of activities, again, long-term basis. Starts off with expenses, then program revenues. Toward the bottom of the page, we have general revenues, which are mostly taxes, property tax, sales tax, occupancy tax, etc. So the change in that position line, the county added on a long-term basis $2.9 billion to that position. Below that, we did have a correction of an error. We'll talk about that a little bit more later, related to the county clerk fees. And then we also had a new accounting standard this year, GASB 101, as it related to compensated absences. So we had some liabilities based on that new standard. Now again, those county won't do anything wrong with that. It's just a matter of new accounting standard. Page 15, now we're going to get into looking at the fund level statements, the ones that we're used to dealing with day in, day out. This is on a short-term basis. It's the balance sheet of your governmental funds. The general fund, which includes the general and all road bridge. American Rescue Plan, you know, that's all zeros, they did get closed out, finally, yay, got it done. And the non-major, we have those are special funds. The general fund, the difference between assets, liabilities, and deferred inflows is your fund balance, the equity of this. Total fund balance in general fund was $14,624,000. Part of that being non-spendable, a little bit of a sign for the future budget deficit for 26. And then, as I said, American Rescue was closed, that just a second. And then the non-major ended over 1.5. How those changed, the fund balances changed on 17 and 18, same funds. Starts off with revenues, expenditures, and slide over to the next page, you can see under sources. Change in fund balance, the general fund added $1,670,000. American Rescue Plan spent the balance of it, $88,000. Major, non-major funds added about $88,000. On page 20, the county operates an internal service fund for its insurance, supplementals. You see a little bit of money in there at the end of the year. And then on page 21, it shows the ins and outs, the charges for services and payments for activity. And also on 23, 24, the county has custodial funds. These are mostly all the fee accounts throughout the county. Some of it belonging to the county, some of it belonging to third parties. You can see the ending net position was about $755,000. On 24, you can see the additions, deletions between the different departments, if you will, criminal justice, sheriff, tax collector, etc. After that, we have lots of notes of your financial statements. I'm not going to bore you with a lot of that. Page 49 and 50 required supplementary information, that budgetary comparison schedule for the general fund. Starts off with the original adopted budget, the final amended. There's really no difference this year. The actual operations for the year and the variance in the far right-hand column. We look down at expenditures. We had several line items that were overexpended. In total, no, but in departments, yes. The change in fund balance, the county anticipated a decrease of $969,000. As I said before, we added 1.67 to fund balance. The other is the same true for the American Rescue Plan. We had on 51, excuse me, the original, final, and actual operations. Everything was adopted in the author line with this list of capital outlay. That's your annual financial report. Questions on that before we get to the letters?
No, it's healthy. I mean, we did a really good job of coming in under budget.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. In addition to the annual financial report, there are 3 other letters. There's really only 2 of them. I want to kind of go over today. One of them at the bottom right-hand column that says AUC 265. We're required to report material weaknesses or significant deficiencies, and we had 2 that we've had before. Material audit adjustments. We made several large adjustments during the audit process, 5 to be specific. And then I reported to you earlier that there were some budgets that were overexpended, some up to almost $300,000. But I said in total, we weren't, just lines. And this year, we had, on the top of the next page, that's why we're a little bit later than what we anticipated in completing the audit. We had some county clerk activity that just wasn't recorded correctly, weren't deposited timely, remitted to the county itself timely. So we had to go back and look at that. County did a good job of going back and researching, getting information with those entries that needed to be made. Large receivable that we have from the county clerk is reported in your audit report, so the numbers in there reflect the audit adjustments that we made. And those monies, we talked about this morning before the meeting, about getting those back to the county, getting them to the county so they can be expended.
How
How many deposits were not made?
Well, there's two different components of that. There was some adult probation funds that were received but not deposited into the account. I believe those were like 6 or 7 of those. They submitted those over weeks, quite some time, and those were not. The other part of that, there was some deductions that were made into the fee account, which is not permitted. And that goes back to 2.5 years. And then even into this year, that has not been adjusted yet. But we know the number at 9/30/25, those receivables been set up. Those checks hopefully be cut very, very soon, get the money in the hands of the county, the treasurer can put them in the right hands. A lot of that's gonna go to the state. Some of it's collected, goes to the state, and so those reports will be adjusted.
Were they at least in an interest-bearing account while they were waiting?
Yes, the account's interest bearing.
Good.
So that's the material weakness. The other one that says management there at the bottom, we had some prior comments. I'm going to quickly go through these. Some of them were addressed, we've already talked about it. They're kind of repeats of the finding, the yearly adjustments, budget variances. The treasurer's bank account last year, they're struggling to get those caught up. Those were caught up for this year's audit. So we had no problems with that. This year, we talked about the judicial receivables not being recorded. There's a plan, we're going to get there. Policies and procedures, there's some of those that haven't been updated in quite a while. There's some progress being made, but they're still not completed. One interfund receivable payable balance that needs to be taken care of. Hopefully that can be done by the end of 26, so that will be taken care of as well. Some bank accounts that have some old outstanding checks, those are listed there. This should be following the state laws on this cheating and getting those to the proper hands. The bank recs, these are mostly fee office accounts that I'm referring to here. Some of them have bank recs, some of them do not. There are some that have bank recs and there's no one reviewing and approving them. That's just good accounting procedures to have a third party look at those.
Is that at the county level or those department level?
That's the fee department.
Okay.
Yes, not the treasurer's accounts. Then the depository bank, even though there's not a depository agreement, they're holding up their end of the bargain and pledging securities and all that, and paying interest, so, I don't know. Technically, you should have one, but there's not one. But
I've asked for one 5-6 times
Yeah.
since last year.
I guess that's a good thing with Libyan local bank.
Yeah.
They're living, like I said, they're living with the bargain so far.
But it's not for lack of asking for one.
The debt service fund, we did get those entries during this audit, get those closed down, so that's been taken care of. The prior year, we had one little procurement, we couldn't find all the documentation on procurement, we saw none of that this year. And then the last 2 comments relate to the county clerk deposits, payments. Those would be answers to your questions in more detail. And the other letter is, I hate to say it, required communication. We can do it orally and writing. We always get it right. And believe it or not, we get writing as well. So it's our proof that we do.
Who ought to cheat?
Bollinger Seekers out of Republic. I know that's a lot in a short time period, but I want to thank county auditor's office, treasurer, clerk, everybody. I mean, the results come from everybody's work. It's not just one person, one department, it's everyone. We work closely with all those people I mentioned. They do a good job.
Well, it is a lot of work, and I know Cheryl spends a lot of time working on this. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you for the work you did. Kay, appreciate all the work you did to help get us to where we could even have our audit. So thank you. Appreciate your time. Any questions, guys? I'm pretty happy with it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Mike. Do we have a motion to accept the results of the fiscal year 2025 audit?
So moved.
We have a motion from Commissioner Wiley and a second from Commissioner Cresswell. All in favor? Any opposed? That passes 5-0. Let's go to item number 6, discuss and consider a letter from the Graham Chamber of Commerce and Visit Graham requesting the closing of the interior of the downtown square on Tuesday, October 6, 2026 at 3 p.m. for the 2026 National Night Out event. Miss Kathy, tell us about
It's
Night Out.
me, the Sunshine
Uh-huh.
Girl, following all those other good news.
Yes.
So we were approached by the, Officer Killebrew, representing the PD.
Okay.
They wanted to, start again the National Night Out, and for those who don't know what that is, it's a national organization that started years ago. I took my kids to it back in the 80s, 90s. Yeah. But anyway, so it's a national organization. We're not gonna be a part of that, but the concept. It's not a chamber event. We are just, since it's representing all law enforcement, fire, all of that, it's just easier to have one organization trying to pull it all together. But it's going to be a big block party around the square, basically. Trying to get all nonprofits, businesses, individuals to come and set up booths around the square, the county side, the city side. Bring interactive games, items, themes, to get families out to come and meet, talk. There may be, just throwing out some ideas, things like dump booths, bounce houses, have some of the businesses bring their big smokers, do hot dogs, things like that. Maybe check child safety seats in cars, maybe have a little scooter safety demo corner set up. We're talking about DPS, Graham PD, Sheriff's Office, EMS, Fire. We are coming up with one donation that people could bring that we can collect as the chamber, that we can distribute among all of the entities here, because they really shouldn't be taking up donations, but we can. So things like that, and we just want access to the square. We would like to reserve the inside parking and the grass area, but people can still park on the outside area, so you don't need to close the courthouse early. People can park on the outside, everything. It's an evolving project. It used to be called Light the Night, if anyone remembers, if anyone's as old as me, and everyone would flip on their porch lights, just kind of like, Timmy, you remember those days? So it really is nothing but we just want to have everyone out and just draw people out of their homes and come to the square and have fun things going on in a comfortable environment for families and children to meet all the people who are protecting our community, and it, not be anything other than that. So we're just asking you to set the courthouse square for a party. No alcohol involved.
No alcohol.
No.
The one big objection I'm gonna see is, I know Timmy gets really grumpy when you shut the courthouse down early. I don't think Timmy would like this.
You said y'all didn't have to shut the courthouse
You
down.
don't have to, no, not at all.
You just want the
But we
inside
do
parking.
want a lot of participants, so
Sure.
help us push the word out. It can be an individual group, it can be a Sunday school group, it can be anybody who wants to come out and set up and, give out glow sticks, give out whatever. Just make it fun.
I think this sounds great. So Commissioner Wiley is gonna make a motion to contribute our half of the square to the National Night Out and to close, to shut down our side at 3 o'clock on October 6th, 2026. So Commissioner Wiley made a motion. Who did the second? Second from Commissioner Craig. All in favor? Any opposed? 5-0. We're in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
You bet.
Item number 7, consider the county clerk minutes from the previous meeting, June 22nd, 29th, July 6th, July 13th, and July 20th. I never saw any. Did
No,
those didn't come out today?
I haven't
Okay.
done, but I'm not able to email them to y'all or anything, because all of our stuff is still down, printers are down. We got internet finally this morning, so,
Okay.
but Harley's still working on everything else.
All right, we'll just table that. Item number 8, consider the treasurer's financial report, updates on securities pledge. Treasurer Milo?
Yes, sir. Hopefully y'all received my
I
email
did.
package. So the June financial report, yeah, it's been reconciled and in order, and that's for your approval.
I thought it looked good. Does anyone have any questions for him?
Good.
Do we have a motion to approve Treasurer Milo's report?
So
We have a motion from Commissioner Craig. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Shook. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 5-0. Get that signed for you, Kyle.
We also have a report from the bank on our securities pledged, and which should have also included in your email sent earlier. And note that they have an excess market value pledge of $4,695,000, so we're in good shape on our securities pledge.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the securities pledge report. Motion from Commissioner Wiley. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Craig. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. So the first one was for the treasurer's report. The second one was for securities pledge report. All right, item 9, auditor's budget amendments and vouchers payable. Ms. Roberts?
Good money, not us personally. On the vouchers today, the total is $137,099.28.
Okay.
Out of the general fund is $98,691.15, and there is a Don's butane invoice included.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Cresswell. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Craig. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0-1 with Commissioner Wiley abstaining.
I think I had one on there, you had one too.
No, yours with the live check.
Mine's the live check.
Yours is the live check.
Okay, never mind.
So, also have some budget amendments, from contingency to the Graham Annexes is to pay the second part of the fencing that we built upstairs. Commissioner Shook asked money moved from his road material to equipment not financed and from equipment to equipment issue. Oh, I moved to, because your interest line was negative, so I moved some, because I think you may have that messed up too much in the principal, so I moved some from the principal to your interest. And non-department from contingency to SO miscellaneous, that's for all the tower stuff that we talked about. We paid for it out of the sheriff's.
All right, so we're proposing 4 different budget amendments. One of $21,140 from contingency to the Graham Annex, miscellaneous. Second one's $9,500 from road materials to equipment non-financed. Third is $930 from equipment principal to equipment interest. And the fourth is $11,500 from contingency to miscellaneous. Do we have a motion?
The one with the fence up there upstairs, that's gonna be reimbursed through grant.
Oh, yes, yes.
That'll be reimbursed through grant.
Good deal. Someone I'll make a motion for the 4 budget amendments.
So moved.
So Commissioner Wiley makes the motion. Do you have a second? Second from Commissioner Craig. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
she'll have some of this money in her budget, but she's not gonna have enough. She said, what she doesn't have, she'll get from other resources, so I guess that's.
That's probably gonna raise money for it.
Maybe so,
Yeah.
but the total on this is $2,776.30, but it's mainly the out-of-state travel too that he needs to, y'all's approval on.
All right, so we need a motion to approve Penny's out-of-state travel. Estimated cost $2,776.
Yes, and this one just happens to fall in the same budget year, but say she won't have enough for all of it, but we'll move around what we can. Yes.
All right, so we have a motion from Jimmy and a second from Scott. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Do I need to sign that off?
No. Thank you.
All right. Item number 10, discuss and consider employee bonds. Sherry Ashley, Assistant County Auditor, $5,000.
I think we need to up that.
I'd say, it's a little sketchy. So, I can't believe you can responsibly make that much. We need a big bond on her, don't we?
She's pretty nice.
All right. So Stacy thinks it's okay. Do we have a second? Second from Alan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. One more year, Sherry.
One more year.
Item 11, consider the extensions agent's June report, request for reimbursement. Penny Barron sent a report for $1,247.07. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Craig. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Scott Shook. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right, it's only 10:05, so let's skip down to 14. Discuss and consider setting the salary and other allowances for all county elected officials. This is part of the budget process. We have to start with county officials and give elected officials the opportunity to protest their salaries. So we do that, and we set up, there's a term for it where they can file a grievance. Grievance, yeah, it kind of starts a grievance calendar. What's being proposed this year, and it's gonna also carry down to everyone in the county, but we're proposing a 5% salary increase, the elimination of cell phone allowances, and we're gonna replace that with county cell phones that we think, which the sheriff came up with, which can ping off multiple towers, so it should be a better product, and it's cheaper than what the cell phone allowances were. So it should be a better product and less expensive to the county, and then whatever department needs those cell phones can check those out from the county. And a reduction in car allowances for many offices. So the numbers are in the packet. Any comments or conversations on what the elected official salaries and expenses and allowances are for the budget?
I don't agree with it on all of it. We discussed it.
Yep, no, I understand your thoughts on it.
I mean, for it to be decided on with new people coming in, I feel like you're taking retirement benefit and other things away from people that are coming into office. They ain't gonna get that chance.
else have any thoughts? Would anyone like to make a motion?
So moved.
Second. All right, so Alan's gonna make a motion to go with the schedule as presented. Scott's gonna second that. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 4-1. Can you start the grievance calendar, send it out to everybody? Item 15, discuss and consider setting the sheriff's and constable fees for 2027. I sent this out, or Timmy sent this out to everybody. It should be sitting on everyone's desk here. I didn't get any comments from anyone wanting to change it or address it, so I just carried forward what we did last year, and that was subpoenas, $110, summons, $110, writ of attachment, $200, writ of garnishment, $200, writ of sequestration, $200, order of sale, $200, writ of execution, $200, writ of possession, $200, forcible detainer, $110, temporary restraining orders, $110, small claims citation, $110, justice court citation, $110, all other court citations, $110, posting written notices, $40, jury fee, $5, executing a deed, $75, executing a bill of sale, $75. Sheriff, do you see any reason to adjust those? You comfortable with those going forward? I didn't get any comments from anybody stating that we needed to adjust those up or down. Do we have a motion to publish the 2027 sheriffs and constables fee schedule? Okay, so we'll go with Commissioner Cresswell gave a motion and Jimmy Wiley has seconded that. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. So we will need to send that out to everybody. Item 16, discuss and consider renewing and/or extending the interlocal agreement between Young County, City of Graham, City of Albany, Stevens County, and the City of Breckenridge regarding bond supervision for fiscal year 2025. So again, this should be on everyone's, it's handed out. We took last year's agreement and we adjusted it for
This
the,
is 2027, not 2025.
say it again?
That's just FYI 2027.
Yeah.
You said 2025.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it should be, 2027. This is for next year. Thank you for correcting me. So, with the numbers have been changed to reflect the anticipated 5% raise in our, in Cliff's. Cliff's is our bond supervisor in his salary. And Cliff's salary, because he performs bond supervision services for not only Young County, he provides them for the City of Graham, the City of Breckenridge, Stevens County, and the City of Albany. We had an agreement, and that was a complete failure. I don't believe we're doing anything for Rockport anymore. It really was a disaster. It cost us money because they wanted it charitable. They wanted it to be done as a charity. But this basically, the numbers that you have in there are reflecting the 5% raise. So basically, Graham takes approximately $16,000 of his salary. Young County takes approximately $12,000. Breckenridge takes about $10,000. Stevens County takes about $9,000, and Olney takes around $5,000. And I'm rounding those numbers. But do we have a motion to approve this interlocal agreement that we can then circulate to the other entities so that they can sign it while they're in their budget process?
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Wiley. We have a second from Commissioner Cresswell. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Let's see. Get you to stamp all that and then give that to Timmy so that she can circulate it to everybody. Okay, item number 17, discuss and consider an application permit to install an entry culvert in the county road right-of-way ditch line on Uselton Road. Commissioner Wiley?
We've got a entryway there where we put 10 ways, and, not far from Highway 14 intersection.
You making a motion?
I would have to say that
Okay, so Alan Craig's gonna make a motion. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Shook. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0-1 with Commissioner Wiley abstaining, correct? Item 18, burn restrictions. Any thoughts on that?
No action.
No change?
No, sir.
We're gonna have lots of fuel, so.
No. That's inevitable.
It's growing.
Yeah, once it kicks off, the season's gonna be busy.
No action on that. Well, I guess while it's wet, we're hoping people go out there and do controlled, responsible burns.
Yes.
And
Get it all.
continue to responsibly.
It's been
tend
great
lands.
lately. Like I said, all the only fires we've had from control burns have been from the other county burning into ours. So Young County residents have been great.
Okay, we're through everything we've got now. We're down to the budget workshop. After lunch, we're gonna meet at the appraisal district. We're gonna go through the tax rate calculation worksheet. It's gonna take a little bit of time to work through that. We have a 10:30 call with our attorney. So why don't we take a restroom break and then we can meet back in there at 10:30 for the phone call.